Good day and welcome to This Is BPCC, where we showcase various aspects of Bossier Parish Community College faculty, staff, and facilities. My name is Sydney LaCour, and today's show features a staff member from the Communication and Performing Arts Department. His name is David White, and he is the technical coordinator for the performance side of Kappa. Welcome to the show, David.
Hi.
Let's begin by finding out more about the performing arts part of Kappa. Tell us about the Cavalier Players.
Well, the Cavalier Players was started about 88, 89, 90, right about that time by Stephen W. Slaughter. And it is our drama club, basically. It's our part of the student life here at BPCC, and they support the performing arts here at BPCC. And they, in addition to doing all the shows and everything, their mission is to do shows, see shows, and have fun. Yeah, so that's the Cavalier Players in a nutshell. I was actually the president. I was a student here ages ago, and I was actually the president there for a short time.
I understand the theater itself is named after its founder, Stephen W. Slaughter. What can you tell us about him?
Steve was a character, and I wouldn't be here talking to you right now if it wasn't for Steve. He grew up doing theater, and when he came to BPCC, he couldn't stop doing theater. He was a speech teacher, but he started the Cavalier Players, and they did their first show in around 88, 89, 90, around that time. I can't remember. But we've been doing shows ever since, and he was my mentor and a dear friend of mine. I love Steve, and I miss him dearly.
What sort of productions have been produced by the Cavalier Players over the years?
Oh, we have done all kinds of stuff over the years. We've done well over 100 some odd productions over the years. Last fall we did Little Shop of Horrors, which I'm wearing a t-shirt from. It was a great show. We did a whole bunch of stuff. We've done Little Shop of Horrors. We do musicals. We do straight plays. We do all kinds of things. We typically do a fall musical, and we do usually a comedy in the spring, and then in the summer we do more of our experimental stuff. It's usually a smaller show because we have a partnership with a professional non-equity theater in Michigan City, Indiana called Canterbury Summer Theater. And our students, after performing here, we go up there and we perform on their stage, and our students get a professional credit. So one show in particular that stands out was Turn of the Screw, which we did in 2015. And that was the little show that could. It was lightning in a bottle. Everything came together, and we took it to festivals. We won at every festival we went to. We ended up winning national awards from the Kennedy Center for Turn of the Screw. And that show was awesome. There's as I've done theater over the years, there's only a handful of shows that I say I could still be doing and not get tired of, and Turn of the Screw was one of them. So it was great.
BPCC is all about exposing students to hands-on learning. What aspects of theatrical production do the students in the program learn about?
We pride ourselves in making sure our performers know technical and our technical know performance. The better you know what the other side is doing, the better your job you're going to be, because as a performer, if you understand all the technical aspects, you're going to know how to use the scenery. You're going to know how to use the mics and the lights and all those things. And for the technical side, if you understand performance, you are going to know that what that actor needs to feel comfortable on stage, because as soon as an actor isn't comfortable on stage, they're not acting anymore. You're seeing that person on stage. So they can't keep a character, if they're worried about if they're going to fall off a platform. So the better you know, the more you know, the better off you're going to be. And we make sure that our students get a good, well-rounded education in both the performance and the technical aspects of theater.
I'm curious about the students that graduate from the performing arts. On average, how many go on to pursue this career in this field?
Well, we have had several students, they either go on to work, they either go on and pursue a more education in the field, or we have several students who are working in town in various, one of my best friends, he's a lighting designer for a local company. Another one of our graduates, he is working for that same company, and they're just kind of scattered throughout town doing gigs and things. We have other students who have gone on to have touring productions, working anywhere from touring shows, Renaissance fairs, and not everything is going to Broadway. There is a lot of different aspects of theater out there and opportunities for our students, and it's just up to our student to go out there and get it, because that's the only way you're gonna go. You're gonna have to go out there and get it. And so we've had, like I said, we've had students do tours. We've had students do Renaissance fairs, work summer stock theater, and we have had a couple end up in New York. One particular student, he moved to New Orleans, and he just hit it big, and he started off doing theater there that ended up, and now he's starring in TV shows. He was on NCIS not too long ago. He was the guy who got killed at the beginning. I was heartbroken. And then I think he's now in LA. He's going and doing that. And as I said, our students, we try to get them as well rounded as we can. Another guy, he went down to New Orleans. He was with Zach, with the other guy, and Doc. He was acting and everything, and then an opportunity came his way. Now he's doing costumes in Atlanta. So, it's just taking those opportunities as they come.
Do you know if any students from this program went on to become professional actors?
Well, I think I just covered that. There's several working either on stage or in film or in movies or TV, just taking all those opportunities.
In your opinion, how does BPCC Performing Arts program stack up against other teaching theater experience in our area?
Well, I'm by no means biased towards my program, but I think that we offer a lot of things that benefit you to go. You come here, you learn your craft, you get a good base knowledge, and you're able to move on. And you can either pursue more education or you can go straight to work. I've had several, and just speaking from a technical aspect at this point, as again I've stated, I've had several students go on working in the area. I've had several students go on and they're working in the industry, whether in theater or in the movies. From the performance side, when you go to a large university, it is typical that freshmen don't usually get to go on stage. You have to get your freshman year out of the way. Not so at BPCC. You come here your first semester and you have the opportunity to be on stage. Just walking in the door, you get to audition, and you have the benefit of walking right on stage and working with beginners like yourself or working with seasoned actors. When I was a student in the program, that's how I got to learn. I walked on. I didn't really want to be a performer, and I walked on, and I was learning with people who've been doing it for years at that point. Very seasoned actors, and just being able to work with those veterans. I learned real quick what to do and what not to do.
Well, thank you, David. We'll be right back with more of This is BPCC in just a few moments.
Hi, and welcome to Bossier Parish Community College's Sound Recording Technology program. I'm Lewis Williams, and I'm one of the instructors in sound technology. Let's take a look at what we have. All the instructors in the sound program are industry professionals currently working in sound production, whether it be live sound, music performance, or sound recording. We have current and former students who are doing what they love, working in television, radio, recording studios, live sound, in places of worship, and in the movie industry.
I am a non-traditional student, and what brought me to school was spending a lot of time out in the private sector and learning how important specialized training can be. The reason I came to BPCC was because I spent a lot of time in the private sector, in the music scene, and without a lot of guidance or direction. I just had a desire to create art and to be a part of the industry, and coming to school made the most sense because it allowed me to learn some of my bad habits and get rid of those and build good professional habits from the ground up. I feel like Bossier Parish Community College's sound recording program will help my career by teaching me the professional standard practices for recording audio, whether for a commercial song for an artist or scoring a movie or doing Foley, understanding the need for organization and the correct process to get those things done. I think it'll be a big help for me in the professional world.
Our hands-on approach to teaching sound technology, we feel, is the only true way to learn sound production. You cannot learn this technology from reading a book. Because of our approach, we utilize the most up-to-date recording and live sound equipment available for classroom instruction. So, if you want a career in sound recording, music production, live sound, or sound for film, come see us here at Bossier Parish Community College and let us show you how to get started in this exciting industry.
Welcome back to This is BPCC. Today's guest is the technical coordinator for the Communications and Performing Arts Department here at BPCC, David White. Tell us, David, what exactly does the technical coordinator do, and how long have you been at BPCC?
I've been at BPCC working for 20 years now. I started working in 2002. I was a student before then. My first show that I did was in 1998. I was actually going into forestry at the time, but I met Stephen W. Slaughter and just kind of fell into theater. But as a student, I did shows on up until I graduated, and I was in the right place at the right time, and been here for 20 years now. As technical coordinator, as in theater parlance, technical director, my job is to make sure all the technical aspects get done of the theater. So I'm in charge of making sure the sets get built, and all the money, and buying all the materials, and make sure all those things that to keep the technical end of the theater running. That's my job. I'm also the scenic designer, so I get to design all the sets, and I also am the lighting designer. So I get to design the lights, and I'm often the sound designer as well. So I work with my students to make sure that they are working alongside me to make sure that they are getting those. They're seeing me work and seeing what I do, so they can get the experience. And between doing the shows on stage, doing our productions, and backing up all that with their teaching that they learn in the classroom, they get a well-rounded thing of seeing, what they learn in the classroom and seeing it put into practice on stage. So that's basically what a technical director does. That's about it.
How many productions have you been involved in with the Cavalier Players?
Oh my goodness. Since I've been working here, so 20 years, basically doing 4 or 5 shows alone with Cavalier players. So, that's over 100 performances right there. And then there was all the stuff that I did when I was a student. So I'm well over 100 shows. Because we do our spring show, we do our children's show, we do our summer show, we do our fall musical, and we do our annual Christmas show, which we partner with the city of Bossier, and we do that every year. So at minimum, 100 shows, 100 plus shows. Wow, it's a lot.
I understand that not only you work behind curtain, but you perform on stage as well. We actually have some footage from a recent Cavalier Players production where you sang By the Light of the Silvery Moon. Let's take a look at that. What drew you into the world of theater?
Well, I think my dad and my mom, they were in a haunted house that used to be at the State Fair of Louisiana called Dr. Blood. And that was they did that just before I was born in 1979. And so I grew up listening to all the stories of my dad and mom scaring people and having all the fun. So when I first started coming to BPCC, I saw the audition notices and stuff for the shows with the Cavalier players, and I was like, okay. It's like, well, then one day I was, as I said, I was coming into forestry, and I was getting advised. Well, Steve Slaughter walks in, and he says, I have this class. It was theater appreciation, which is basically introduction to theater. And he says, I need people in this class, so put who you can in there. And he walked out, and I thought that was funny. So the Lord was smiling on me that day, and he said, take that class. So I took that class, and the rest is history. That's how I got my start in theater. Steve Slaughter walked in, and 30 seconds later, I was taking a theater class, and here I am talking to you because of that 30 seconds. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Do you prefer to be on stage or behind the scenes?
Oh, so tough. I think, if I was to weigh it out, I really, really like doing my behind the scenes stuff, and all those things. But when I do get the chance to perform, it's so fun. It's so much fun. I really enjoy it. It's such a time commitment, and being I am the technical director, technical coordinator, and I'm stretched pretty thin as it is, as the scenic designer, lighting designer, and whatever else I'm doing for the show. So I don't get a chance to perform as often as I'd like. But so it's such a time commitment to perform, because you have to be at rehearsal every night, and you're for 3 or 4 hours. And when it comes Tech Week, which we're in Tech Week right now for our show Almost Maine, yeah, you can be here 10, 11, 12, I was here till 11:30 last night. So it's a big time commitment. So for me, coming into performance, I really make a point. If I'm going to perform, I'm going to make it worth my while because it is such a time commitment. I did what we just saw. We did Love Notes, which is something we pulled together for when we were in quarantine for due to all the COVID stuff. But the last time I was on stage. Well, actually, no. I was on stage for Little Shop of Horrors. I forgot. My mind's getting scattered. I was actually the voice for Audrey 2, which is the man-eating plant in Little Shop of Horrors, and that was. I was able to step in because I just have to be off stage. I didn't have to. Do a lot of choreography and things. I just had to sing into a mic, so that was a lot of fun. So I got to feed me Seymour, and growl into a mic for a little bit, and channel, Wolfman Jack and Barry White. But before that, I had done Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof, and that was in 2014. That's the last time I was in a big production, and that was top of the moon. Well, I was over the moon. It was so much fun. A lot of singing and dancing. I grew my beard out. It was bigger than this, and this is huge. So I got to do all those things. So I really enjoy performing when I get a chance. So I make sure. So when I get to do it, I make sure it's something I'm really going to enjoy.
Is there an aspect of theatrical production that you like the least?
Oh, like the least? No, everything is going to have its pros and cons, but I think if I had to pick one thing that I didn't like, the thing that just, gets under your skin, it's just the time crunch. It's having to do everything in so little time, and then really having to, it can get aggravating when having to depend on everybody. So you have to really make sure everybody's doing their job because it's a collaborative art form, and making sure everybody's doing their job, because if somebody's not doing their job, you gotta pick it up. Everybody's got to get together and do their thing. So it's but I tell you what, when the time crunch, when you only have, like when you go to a festival and you only have 3 hours or less to do a show, to get a show mounted, man, that adrenaline, it hits you, and man, there's a reason people do theater, because you get that buzz, and that adrenaline starts pumping, and you're like, oh, this is fun. So when things aren't going right, though, oh boy, so it can be tough. So it usually comes down to not having enough time. Oh, there's me at Tevye. Yeah. It usually comes down to not having enough time, and just when people aren't doing what they need to do, man, it can get aggravating.
We understand that you created an award-winning prop for a recent Cavalier Players production. What can you tell us about it?
Oh man, I got to do a lot of fun stuff in our production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was summer of 2021. And I got to do some stuff that I've been really wanting to do. So I created this cane, and I had in the show, Dr. Jekyll, in the script that we used for our production, the character of Dr. Jekyll was portrayed by 4 people. So, and the way that, to let the audience know, it was a convention in the script, the way the audience knew who Dr. Jekyll was they had this cane. So I designed and built this cane, and I had to create 7, 8 of these things, so they could all have identical canes, because at one point all 4 of them were on stage at one time. So so I sculpted the head of the cane. So I had this, and I made it out of Sculpey. There was a big learning curve. I had to learn how to use Sculpey and all kinds of oven baked clays and molds and things, and that was a lot of fun. So I created the model of the head that I needed. Using that, I created a 2-part mold of this. So this would fit in just like that. You pour resin in through the top here. That cut a little hole. So you pour the resin in the top right there, and pop it out. Then set that over there. Then put it all together using dowel rods, and got a little end cap for the cane. This is all PVC pipe with upholstery tacks and things. And one of the cool things that this cane had to do was it had a dagger in it. So that was a lot of fun. So, figuring out how to create the locking mechanisms for all of this, and molded that into the sculpture. So I had to have 2 canes that did this. So I had 3 or 4 that only had to be a regular cane. I had to have one that had to have a dagger. So this is just wood, so nobody would get hurt. But and it worked out perfect. It locks in, and you walk around. And so one of the cool things I did for the cast afterwards was I casted a bunch of these heads. And gave it to them as a cast gift, and they all really liked that. But you did say this was an award-winning prop. We do our shows, and we have the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festivals. We do shows, and we have the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival come see our shows, and they adjudicate that, and they tell us what they think, and they give our students opportunities for acting, scholarships, and those kind of things. And one of the things they do, if they see anything that they really thought stood out, they will give meritorious achievement awards for various things. And I won a couple for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but the good one, one of the ones that I won was for props artisan for making my canes and things. So that was a big honor for me, because I worked really hard, and I was very proud of this. So, doing those, whether I like performing or backstage, this was the time I really liked the backstage stuff.
Well, that was going to do it for today's episode of This Is BPCC. I want to thank our guest, David White, for taking time of his busy schedule to be with us today. Visit bpcc.edu if you want to learn more about the Cavalier players.